Hey everybody,
I'm Bob!
I'm Sam.
and I'm Will,
And we are
Working Title! Ow. Stab my tummy.
Guys, we're back. The Mandalorian, Season 3, Episode 4, Chapter 20. Title soon
We'll
to be
figure it
revealed. Last on,
Was the weirdest episode of The Mandalorian yet.
but we liked it. Let's
was
keep it
interesting.
going so that it pays off. Guys, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, let us know your thoughts on today's episode or some of your favorite moments. Let us know where you're from and how you're doing. Shout us out in your native language. We love you. Hope you're having a great day or night. We're gonna punch it.
What the? What are we doing?
Are they killing each other?
They're practicing.
Oh, okay.
Warriors. What are they practicing their aim on?
What are they practicing for?
It's the water, just survival.
She's like, it's good to be home. Yeah.
He's gonna lift all this.
Yes. Wow.
I gotta do my training too.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't like choose which one he wants to lift.
Come on.
Unless they're moving towards him, and he's
Pretend-
not doing that.
Pretend you're gonna get a frog as a reward.
I don't think
after.
he's doing that.
I don't know if though. That's not an animal. Is that an animal?
I think it's an animal. Yep, it's
Yeah.
a crab.
Okay.
Wow.
He's gonna eat it.
Put down the rocks, kid. It's time that you learn with the other foundlings.
Bro.
Really?
Playtime's over.
What do you expect him to fucking do?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he's older than Din, or the same age, but...
What if one of the helmets
Next
falls
challenger.
off while they're fighting?
Next challenger.
How are you supposed to fight him?
Beat the shit out of him.
Kick him. Punt him.
Alright, buddy. Put this on your fucking head.
Don't worry. My dad was the same way. He's just proud of you.
This is ridiculous.
He's just proud of you.
You take it easy on him, kid.
There's no shot.
Begin! Point!
Oh my god. Do it,
Ready?
man.
Begin! Point! Grogu, I've seen what you can do. It's okay. Show them.
Is he just gonna use the force?
He does a backflip and like fucking
Yeah.
murders the kid.
Ready?
He's ready. Oh.
3 points. Winner!
Damn.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Did you teach him that?
Not me.
Who taught him?
One doesn't speak unless one knows.
Based.
Great job, kid.
What a good little hero.
What now? What now?
Oh!
Nice.
It's a
He's
dragon!
getting kidnapped for sure.
Dracarys!
Yep.
Oh!
Here's our mission.
What the hell?
Get the kid. You see another dragon come in and eat it in half.
There's always a bigger dragon.
Mama.
See what he did there? See what he did there, guys?
By the way, this is what I mean when I say the Mandalorian like comes up with these random side plots mid-episode.
Yeah.
There we
Bo-Katan.
go.
Wow, what a shot.
And where would we be without Bo at this point?
Dead.
The Foundling. I thought that was already a title.
She's already setting herself up to be like the Bloody Queen. She saved
Yep.
Din earlier. She's gonna save this child and earn massive respect.
She hid the Mythazar from him.
And she just failed at getting the kid back.
She'll get him. I believe it.
I kept a high altitude and followed it to its lair. I know how to get there.
This thing's probably already had dinner.
The nest.
One can only hope.
These are no higher than the peaks of Karamurad. I used to climb them in basic training. I'll fly to the foothills, scale the rest of the way on foot.
This is the way. Gotta stay with Grandma.
I'm too young to join them.
Granny.
Only with time.
Now Grogu becomes like the next like Smith, the new armorer. Learns the way of the Beskar. Why is this making him so sad?
I know, it's been sad a lot. Oh! Coruscant.
Oh, come on.
Oh, dude, oh my gosh.
The elevator! Get the youngling together and go!
Oh, he looks so tiny even there. Look at him. He looks even more of a baby. I love that. He's teeny weeny. Who's gonna be in here?
Everything's gonna be alright.
Jar Jar Binks!
Yeah, what the heck?
Sorry, I mean he's not Jar Jar Binks. What am I saying?
Oh, he's gonna pop off.
Oh, he's got double. Oh, I'm glad he got a roll. This is awesome, man. Nice. Look at you. See that move?
Yeah.
Nice.
Go!
Get out of here.
Oh, I love that he's this. That is so cool.
He looks awesome.
Oh. Oh, shit.
Hold on tight, little buddy. Wow.
Oh!
Nice rip.
Crap, that's pretty dark.
Oh! What are the odds? We're back here again.
Yeah.
Just 20
I'd like to
years
say
later.
good use of reusing a set, but it's not.
CGI. 30 years later.
Who's he going to?
It's a platform.
Don't worry.
It's a super
Hold on.
shiny
It's gonna be a
ship.
bumpy landing.
It's like the same platform from Phantom Menace.
Yeah. Corday.
Corday.
And it looks like that ship too,
It's
dude.
a
Yeah.
Padme ship.
Right, that's what I was trying to get at.
But that's hers.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan?
Tell her in back. They're right behind.
Naboo
What
people.
about the others?
There are no others.
Everybody now.
Oh, they got the Coruscant troopers.
You ready to go?
Look at those, the red troops. Get the hee-haw out of here. Oh, they're gonna cut the story for now. Oh. Wow, okay.
Gosh, give us more details. Oh, he looks so sad.
It is with these scraps of Beskar that I forged your next piece of armor.
Oh.
What's it gonna be?
It's gonna be a shield?
You will grow into this rondel as you grow into your station. Foundling Grogu.
Foundling Grogu.
Jeez. It's literally like a medieval breastplate.
We'll continue on foot from here. Any closer and it will hear the ship.
Great, we got fodder too, so the dragon can eat some people.
Nice. Bro, if I was this bird, I would have eaten the kid already. Like, this is like 13 hours later.
Oh, let's see if he's missing. What are the chances he's missing a leg by the time the Mando takes a dark turn for the show?
That'd be wild. Unexpected. How do they eat? Just like lift it
How
up.
do you eat when other people are around?
You don't. When you get your food, you go off to find a place where you can take off your helmet.
Oh my
So
lord.
ridiculous. I love it though. It's so stupid. Or am I gonna go potty?
You are the leader of the war party. You have the honor of staying by the fire.
Nice.
This is the way.
This is the way.
What happens when they start to eat and somebody walks over? Hey! Don't look at my lips!
It's like seeing someone.
But all the armor asked Mando last season was, did you take your helmet off? She didn't say, did anybody see your face? She was like, did you take it off? And he was like, yeah. So they take their helmets
Maybe
off.
it's
Yeah,
in
but
the
no-
context of like in public. Like maybe when
Yeah.
they say that the presumption is in public.
Remember in the first season, he ate
Yeah.
with his mask off
It's true.
when they were in that village.
The raptor's lair is atop the highest peak.
Oh, okay.
Boss. The boss lady.
See, I would like to know the reason the whole mask thing is a thing. Like, what in their history, like, made them feel convicted to have to keep a mask on?
Yeah.
Like, is it a modesty thing? Damn, like his like back piece.
Yeah, dude, that thing is
It's
insane.
connected to his gun.
Meanwhile, Din has an unnecessary cape.
No capes.
Yeah. And we're not using our jetpacks because of stealth?
Yes.
Yeah, if it gets picked up, they're scared that the creature is gonna start chewing on the kid prematurely to like protect its food. Because some birds, I don't know, might not. It's not a bird, but it's got a
Yeah,
nest.
It's got a nest.
I was gonna
pretty
say
close to a
sometimes they
bird.
just keep it until they're ready to eat.
They eat it, chop it up, and then throw it up in their kids' mouths.
If they have children. Let's hope there's not baby dragons.
Kill them all.
Make 'em
Baby
pets.
dragon! Oh.
From the other ones it's eaten. That's not the kids' home.
Not there.
There.
I see a heat source there.
Probably the eggs.
Do you guys also see
We clear the area.
all the
My
divots?
son.
So what is his son?
All the divots there? I think it has kids.
Ragnar! Ragnar!
That's gonna be a baby.
Ragnar?
Yep, I knew it. Yep.
Oh!
It's got 4 arms.
Yep, coughing up the kid. Yep. Ripping to shreds.
She's alive!
Oh! Oh god.
No!
Hey, you got both the
2 for 1.
Vizslas! Let's go!
Take my hand!
Oh!
Go for a swim.
Better hope that
came
jetpack
off?
works. Take one of our arm guards. Something.
The right shoulder.
Oh!
Oh boy.
Oh! I thought he was about to just slice through that thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Kid.
Nice.
Say it did.
Oh! There's always the bigger creature!
Yeah.
So they didn't end up.
Damn.
Did they kill it in the first one, or is that
They killed one.
Okay, so it's just a different one. This
Now the
place
babies are
sucks.
just gonna starve to death.
This Grand Canyon sucks. Why did we move here?
I'm okay, Dad.
Oh.
Thank you.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Yeah, don't be a jackass
Yeah.
next time you open the dark saber.
Bo-Katan Kryze, you have honored your house and all of Mandalore. You have done the highest honor of the Kryze, saving a foundling.
There you go.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Of course, the highest
We have brought you
order.
3 more foundlings in need of care and training.
Is that so?
Did
Yeah.
they took the birds?
3 new foundlings.
How did they fit on that thing? Dinner? What are we supposed to do?
You're in need of a repair.
Creatures they could ride one
Come
day.
with me. Shall I inlay the signet of the night owl?
No. Oh man.
Would it be acceptable to wear one pauldron of the Night Owl and another with the Mythosaur?
The mythosaur belongs to all Mandalorians. It is always acceptable to wear.
It's royalty free.
I would
Anyone
like
can
that.
make it their thing.
She's got a new. Oh man. Oh man.
I'm telling you.
You were
man.
right.
I'm telling you.
She's got another agenda.
Of course. Fulfill the highest order today. Taking it on as her sigil.
I mean, Din doesn't want to be a leader. He
Right.
doesn't really care for that.
There's
so.
that.
So, like, she's just gonna fill the spot that she feels she should fill.
I just wonder what her like intent
What
is
would
on
you
not
say
sharing.
if I told you I saw one?
Maybe not.
That you saw what? A mythosaur. I would say you are very lucky. When you choose to walk the way of the Mandalore, you will see many things.
Ooh, that looks slick. I like that.
But it was real. This is the way.
She didn't say she doesn't believe you.
All right. That's how we ended off last episode. He's just staring at that thing.
Carl Weathers directed this episode.
Let's go,
That's
Carl.
awesome. Wow, what a shot of Grogu. What the fuck?
He's a monster.
Yeah.
Murdering innocent crabs.
All right. That is episode 4, The Foundling. Huh.
The child.
Well, I kind of want to jump the gun and go straight to the flashback real quick.
Sure.
I'm down.
Cause like, why not? Yeah. I'm happy we got our like answer. It might not have been a Luke that
Or an Obi.
saved him, or an Obi-Wan per se.
Luke.
Like on that caliber,
yeah.
like on like a
council
cameo
member.
type of
Okay.
A top
no.
Jedi.
yeah. Like something
Recognizable Jedi. Did
Right.
not rescue him.
I don't mind.
I don't mind.
Honestly,
I wasn't
kind of.
expecting a recognizable Jedi to have rescued him.
I'm trying.
I was expecting to see like a Anakin in the distance. You know.
Chopping people down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the story's not over yet.
No, it's not. This
who,
is the way.
Who knows? Anakin might have gotten on a jet and they're like, "There's 2 Jedi running away," and he gets in his little starfighter and pops them.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, the journey's not over yet. I will say, Ahmad Best, awesome cameo. Love
I didn't
that
know
he's
what
back.
you guys were talking about.
Yeah,
That's the actor that plays. I'm so sorry. That's the actor who plays Jar Jar.
he is. I'm glad he came back. He's somebody who's like I consider part of like the deep Star Wars family, in the sense that like the people that are in charge like keep him around. People like him and like Warwick Davis, faces of the like, and same with like Hayden Christensen, like players in the like overall community who like integrate Star Wars into their life and aren't just like characters. Like this guy, he like runs like a kids show for Star Wars, like a like game show, which is just cool. And like similar to Warwick Davis, like one of those presents that just is always loved by the fan base, despite their character not playing a huge role in the overall series.
Well, and
You go.
well, I was just gonna say too, like it's nice to bring him back in for something, just because. I mean, funny enough, he does still like Star Wars, but he also has probably had the most bitter taste with Star Wars, just because of how people treated him for playing Jar Jar.
That's what I was gonna say.
He was suicidal from.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, like it got that bad because of, to my knowledge, or the way it's described in like articles and interviews, is that he was like suicidal because of like the bullying that he got for playing Jar Jar.
Which to me is crazy because I loved Jar Jar. I didn't think he was annoying. And what was it? Did it start off as the fans liked Jar Jar, but then they just didn't like him?
It's just annoying adults. You know what I mean? And like in fairness, like we do the same thing too. We don't bully anybody. Let me correct that. We have sometimes the same distaste for some things of like the sequel trilogy, and it's like I don't like this. This isn't like the Star Wars that I grew up with. You know, I'm sure.
Oh, that. Okay.
I'm sure that it was like people from the original trilogy that were like, this is too kiddie, this is stupid, this isn't Star Wars.
When people
that
make
were
it
mad about Jar Jar.
When people like turn it and make it like a personal attack on like the
Yeah.
person playing, like Rose from The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
Or like,
she's a good example too.
or like I don't necessarily enjoy her at all and what she
Right.
contributes to the story, and I'd prefer her scenes to not be a part of it. However, it doesn't mean that the job was bad on her behalf, or that
Doesn't
there's
mean she's a
anything.
horrible person either.
Right.
too.
But that's where like
Right.
people go to the extra level. Same with like the Game of Thrones cast. Like when people get really deep into characters, whether it be they're like a villain that makes the audience absolutely hate them. Like
Yeah.
people get crazy amounts of letters and hate. Regardless of Jar Jar, just to jump back, Jar Jar, was somebody who got that a lot, and that's why I brought up like not Warwick Davis, but like Hayden Christensen. I mean, Little Annie's another great example.
Yeah.
But
People
like,
hated that kid.
Yeah, I know.
but like he's stayed around
Despite
all of that, and like still been a part of the Star Wars family and played roles that might not be seen by the visual eye, but he still has a presence, which I think is. And I love that he was here today because I thought it was cool. I keep saying this show alone makes like figures that I want to buy as toys. Like he had a new type of robe for like Jedi sets, and I'm thinking like as I was seeing that, I was like, okay, I don't have a lot of humanoid Jedi that I have. Normally I go for the Kit Fisto and Plo Koon type to collect, like the special looking ones. But the robe enough was like I would buy that humanoid toy, even though he's just like a dude. Yeah. And he's a dual wielder, which is even cooler because you don't see that often. Like a Jedi carrying two standards.
Well, I think in fairness, I think he picked up the woman that died when the elevator closed.
Yeah,
she was on the floor in there. He picked up hers.
But I mean,
yeah,
like,
regardless, seeing it happen, play out is never.
Like I think Anakin is the only one who's dual wielded
in the movies
in canon so far. For like what we've, Asajj Ventress is another one, but she's not live action yet. Ahsoka's a good one
in the live action for Mando season 2.
But a lot of the time, like with those instances with Asajj, Ahsoka, and Starkiller, it's like a lot of times it's backwards. Like he was doing it like this, actual like medieval style, like going ham with
blades
that.
up, not down. You mean?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
blades up, which is really cool. That's unique to see that twirling it about. That's so cool.
I'm going to go back to what we were talking about with the actor getting hate for Jar Jar. I didn't understand. I think you nailed it, Will, saying the adult fans, because I grew up as a kid watching Phantom Menace. Right. So I like, dude, Jar Jar, when he gets shocked when he's working on Anakin's ship, his tongue is hanging out. I'm stuck. I could say that to my older brother, and he's dying laughing, just because that we would rewind that scene so much. And then him getting his finger free, thank you. It's like that shit's hilarious to me. So I love Jar Jar.
Yeah, I did too. He's a charming character. We have that deep love for the prequels. I'd say like I'm sure there's people. That's why a lot of people might, like younger generations now, might attach themselves to the sequels. I would still personally argue there's not as much of that like charm to it. Like there's not a lot of like. I can't really say I know a lot of people that are like, oh, Babu Frick.
Yeah.
And
it's
like
a little bit more of an era thing too.
Like
just because like newer movies, I just don't think that a lot of newer movies have that charm that the early 2000s movies did. Right. So it's always a little bit of nostalgia. Yeah. But regardless, if you don't like a character, or you don't like how a story was written, or you don't like how it was portrayed,
you don't have to hate
them.
They're doing their job.
People are still humans. Like you shouldn't treat them like they're trash.
Right.
So. But you can still criticize stuff, but just not be like
unless it's Joffrey.
Unless it's Joffrey.
That kid did a great job.
He did do a great job. Yeah. And so did Cersei. She got a lot of hate too.
But I'm glad he's not dead. He's not dead, which means he's still a player in the show.
Yeah.
As soon as this is over, I'm gonna go figure out what his name is so I can give him a name. Because he is not civilian Jedi to me. Yeah. He saved our main character.
He is main character Jedi. Yeah.
He saved our main character, and maybe he'll take us to maybe actually more noticeable faces. I would think one that would be cool, which is more of like a throwaway, is Dexter's Gestures, the Obi-Wan's friend. You know why? Because at least old school canon, he took Jedi. He took little kids and took them in. So. It would make sense if you had somebody like that who took him from a more high-ranking Jedi Knight, a big profile, give it to a random alien who takes like younglings, who then probably goes and finds places for children to be like given to families, kind of like Luke and Leia style. If they did something like that, that'd be really unique.
Well, even too, you gotta remember, there's a big time jump between
here and Mando,
and so in reality, what could have happened is that. This Jedi survived the entire, the whole thing, and he protected Grogu until he died, and because he was being held by like pirates, so maybe he died near the end of his life defending Grogu, and they just were like, oh, he's probably worth something because he's a rare breed species, and so then they see he does the Force, they probably black market, call up who's looking for him, and lo and behold, we get Moff Gideon playing a role in it. So
we got about 25 years of fill in the blank.
Yeah,
which would be fun. And
I'm sure too that they had records of Jedi that were still alive or that weren't they were MIA, not KIA'd. So I'm sure that between the records and the Jedi Temple and all that stuff, that they were like, okay, well, we're missing a couple Jedi, and so Inquisitors hunting them.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that's how Moff Gideon then knew that this kid was still out there somewhere, in theory.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was awesome. It was a very cool flashback. I feel bad that he has PTSD about that, though. I mean, makes sense. It's really traumatic, but
50 years of life, plenty of time to build up some.
Yeah, it's just wild to it's kind of hard to perceive or to understand how he perceives life because he ages so slow. Does he? Because clearly he can understand Din, and he can communicate. But it's is he still an infant in a sense, or a toddler where he's not really all there mentally, or is he there? It's just really the lack of communication and still maybe a childlike mentality that's involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really, really slow.
Either really slow aging or he's just not developed because of lack of environment to do so.
I mean, I'd like to say that because somebody like Yoda who's 900, I mean, he's extremely wise, but he still had his faults at year 900, and you'd think a perfect person would be perfect. So you could either say two things about that is he's lived so long, hit his wisest years, and then he was out of touch because life was too good during the fall of the Jedi Empire, and then came the Imperials. Or you could say that was just when he was hitting his peak adult wise man era, where he doesn't know everything, but he can still give you wise counsel, maybe more so than other people. So if that's the thing, that's just really it just stinks for the show, because how much progress can you really have with Grogu?
Yeah, well, that's the part that I was thinking about when he was practicing fighting. And he was, they gave when Armor after the the flashback gave him his little breastplate to have. In my mind, I'm I mean, we don't even know if the Mandalorians are going to survive by the time he's old enough to even be cognitive of what he's doing or being self-sufficient.
Yeah. Funny enough, that was the first thing I was thinking as when Mandalorian episode 1 introduced him. I was like, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna have a show with if it's the main character or one of the main characters? Because how do you develop a character unless we're jumping?
Yeah.
Decades at a time.
Decades.
And even then, it's I don't think by the end of Din's life, I don't even think he's gonna be at a good Padawan age by the time Din dies. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? He's not even going to be at his 11, 8, 9, 11. He's not going to be at his young Anakin stage by the time that Din dies. So it's it really is. How much can we get through with this little fella?
Such a wild concept. In my mind, just for Star Wars right now, where we are, my last checkpoint is with Rey Skywalker. That is the most up to date you can get with Star Wars. There's, as far as I'm aware, there's no content beyond that point. And to think that Grogu should be living far past that, it's will we ever even get that point of Star Wars?
Maybe.
Maybe
there's so much storytelling to do before we even get to that point.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in theory the plan for Disney is to get all of these flagship stories out there and cover the basis, or rather cover the basis of the stories going on and just do the fun backstory stuff and then make him the future of Star Wars.
I figured out. I figured it out. Will. I figured out how we can
hit us with it.
Dragon Ball style.
What?
Rebels.
Okay. Oh. Yeah.
Dragon Ball style.
I understand what you mean.
I don't.
What is the chamber you go to?
Oh, hyperbolic time chamber.
You do that with this show, with the place that Ezra goes to and saves Ahsoka from the Darth Vader fight. I know that won't make sense to you. One of the best episodes in Rebels, he finds this basically this
The holocron?
this like out of pocket section of the universe that doesn't have to do with any of the other parts of the world where like time doesn't exist. Just to move the progression of Grogu, you could take him to a place like that, jump tons of years, he comes out a Yoda style, somebody where we can actually have development. I'm just saying, maybe not for a show like this, but we got shows like Ahsoka, and Ahsoka touches on that stuff. As far as I'm aware, when it comes to Ahsoka, we could get into that ballpark because it's her and Ezra, and if all these shows, like you said, flagship things that are going to be leading us forward to the future, I'm putting it as a possibility. It's not out.
So Grogu goes in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Right.
Shitloads of time goes by in the chamber, but 3 days goes by in our world.
I don't really know how it functions.
That's how Dragon Ball functions.
I don't know how it
Well, that's
functions.
essentially
3 years went by, 3 days went by.
That's essentially what Sam's saying.
The only
Yeah.
flaw in my plan is I don't know if time actually exists or can pass there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think of ways, basically. I
No, I know.
want an older Grogu, and I just don't know how we can get to that, and maybe that's an outlet. I feel like...
Or maybe just Grogu's story ends.
Yeah, I just don't. Like,
I don't want it
I just
to.
don't want him
think
to be
they
a
should.
baby
That's
forever.
a cash grab there.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, if they do all of these stories to encapsulate, like, the whatever era you want to call this of Star Wars, you know, like, do everything. Like, you do your Ahsoka, you do your random, like, Sith Acolyte that takes place a long time ago that can kind of give context for things later on. You do your, you know, wrap-up of everything Rebels, Resistance, the New Republic, First Order. You do the Snoke shit. And then it's like, okay, the only thing we have left is that there is one true Jedi that's left to, like, lead the path forward, you know. Like, if
It's
they...
Rey Skywalker.
If they ended... Well, true, but if they ended, like, the Mandalorian series, like, let's just say it was, like, an 8-season show, and they do time jumps. If they managed to end it with Grogu becoming, like, Padawan age and meeting up with Rey, and then they can move on and start the new Jedi Order or whatever is next, you know, because, like, the Jedi aren't a thing at that point, and then she dies because she's human, and then Grogu is left to be, like, the new Yoda, essentially, and be the leader of it all. So, like, future, you know, 100 years from now, we get, like, a good thing.
Sure.
Sure. I don't know.
No,
just
I
my
mean,
thought.
it's just hard. Like, it's hard to really have any trajectory in mind, especially with a show that moves the pace that this show moves with. Because this show's not the one that goes far
Yeah.
in progress. And then, nonchalantly, apparently, we're supposed to know that there's a 2-year time jump between Season 2 and Season 3, of which they don't say, but because they tweeted it online, we all have to know as a fan base, which
True.
is just lazy, but...
I'd rather you just, like, write it in a credit scene. LOL, like, it's the scroll 2 years later.
Like, I would literally rather have the Rise of Skywalker, the Emperor's alive. At least that's, like, telling the audience, instead of us having to, like, know about it because Will told us before we started
Will-
Season 3.
yeah, 'cause Will
he's
saw
on
it on
social media.
Twitter.
Like, that's just not a good way to do storytelling. But they also did Book of Boba, and that's that. So that's how they carried a lot of the Mando. So with that, I would like to go into a little bit of criticism and what I think the show does good and why the good needs to be done better. This episode did set up the future of the show well, for one aspect. Bo-Katan, like we've been saying, like giving her a task that will make her be seen better in the eyes of the Mandalorian cult or what other groups might be hearing about this in the future. She's talking about the Mythosaur, taking it for her signet, and she'll probably go and use this as a way to boost in the political scale for her people groups, and can even get people like this like cult to join her because she's also keeping the mask. So keeping old traditions, keeping the zealots. She has her crew that might return to her.
Reunite the clans.
Yeah, reunite the clans. What I don't like is not a lot of layers to these episodes. I was thinking to myself, we brought a crew of red shirts, and sure, I guess people might not care about them, but shows can make you invested in more than just the
Two main
titular characters plus one. And I wish the show, like, it gives us episodes like the one we had before, which was super story-driven, hopefully, with these two Imperial people turned into, the New Republic. And that's where I think it does well. Like, it's introduced two characters, but they're so disconnected from the story. Yeah. Why can't we... Like, I'm fine with that, and I'd like it to continue like we said from the last post-talk. do that here. Don't just always rely on a cute baby Grogu for oohs and ahs, random monster of the week to attack us, and then a very basic task to go do that's all very easy to shoot. Like, I feel like they just put so much of the effort into the VFX and not the writing for, like, the main plot. Yeah. Any extra just isn't involved with Grogu and Pedro Pascal's character, Din Djarin.
Yeah.
And I just want more layers to them. I want more of that, like, them being incorporated. And I know they're trying, but I can't say I'm too interested in seeing Grogu's training.
Yeah.
He's cute. It's a little dumb to me.
Yeah.
And I know it's them, they're tackling multiple audiences, not a 27-year-old man, per se. They're trying to get little kids involved in the show, too, which I understand. But even shows like Phantom Menace that were gauged towards children, George Lucas didn't dumb down the plot. He put heavy politics in it, and whether people think it was decent politics in storytelling or not, I don't think it matters. I say trust the audience. Kids can grow with story, and in 10 years appreciate stuff on a deeper level later on.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be dumbed down because kids watch it.
Yeah.
I think that's dumb. Clone Wars is actually a pretty deep show, all things considered. And it's a kid show. They didn't shy away from bigger ideas.
Yeah.
So I just think they need to boost it up a bit. Because I'd say Mando is a little bit more on the kiddie side, like a Resistance show.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be, because we had episodes like Episode 3. So I guess that's why I said it's like a criticism, but also in good fashion to not tear down the show. Because I think the show can be capable of doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really just think, I mean, some of it we've already said, or I already said last week, but it really, to me, just even boils down to, like, a pacing type of thing, whereas, like, these extra cool things they do don't need to happen, and then the intricate, more like, oh wow things, they do so few and far between. So, because it really is, it feels like maybe I just didn't notice it as much in the first 2 seasons, but now that we're on our 3rd season, and you kind of can see the pattern where it's, like you said, challenge or adventure of the week / monster of the week. We're going to add in either extra story for something that's maybe not necessarily really important right now, but is kind of interesting, but we're not going to touch on it for a while, or it's a flashback to something relevant, like Order 66. And that's not just this show. Like, I feel like Obi-Wan low-key kind of did that in some regard. It's definitely a different show than this, but, you know, they just don't really hit. The show just, like, doesn't hit as well when they just try and do these, like, spectacular things, but not really give, like you said, the layer or the depth or even the story. I mean, it's like, Din said 6 words this episode. Right. Like, yeah, there are moments in the past couple episodes where I'm like, I forgot Din was in this. Like, it kind of feels more like it's Bo-Katan's story, which is, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just like,
that's a good point.
You just need to, feel like all of them need to be going together, elevating.
Right.
You know,
I'd agree.
Like, and it doesn't even have to. It could be like one season. This is more the Din season. This is more the Bo-Katan season. That's fine, but to leave it to where like Din says like 4 words in an episode that's like, in theory, him and Grogu's show, it just feels weird to me.
It does.
So, but I do. I think the criticisms that we lodge are because we expect a lot from the show, because it does have the capability and the opportunity to do a lot.
Yeah, and I was talking to Kale about this the other day too, because he I don't know if he's watched the show, but I was like giving him some of my quick thoughts, and I said, you know, like, season 2 was hype with the Krayt Dragon. It was crazy. It was like out of this world to see on a television screen, to know that it's not a movie. The problem is TV is moving so quickly in terms of like what people expect from it in the past few years. Like with Stranger Things and Game of Thrones and like these stellar movie tier shows that are coming out, Mandalorian is no longer the only one producing like that, like really well done CG type of like movie effects.
Mm-hmm.
And while it was cool to see that now for like Star Wars and television when we were like in season 2, now like, because like the first scene was like that giant crocodile thing, and it's like it is spectacular and grand, but it's like we've already seen that.
Yeah.
So now it's not as big of a deal when we see like a mythosaur. It is because it happens to be the mythosaur, but like the shows can't just, in my opinion, it can no longer just rely on those like cool things and keep the fringe viewers entertained. Like, I don't know, or maybe the deep. This is speaking for myself because I know Star Wars fans. We vary and we range, and for the outside people, it seems like Star Wars fans are impossible to describe because we have all such different desires for what we want. I don't
even know what you guys want.
I just want good storytelling.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean that's the simplest thing is just have a good story with compelling characters, and yeah, it is fun to do like the Easter egg and the name drop and the characters we've seen,
and we do love those moments. It's the biggest moments for the reactions.
Yeah.
But
you guys flipped your shit at space whales.
Well, I flip my shit even in Book of Boba Fett when they bring Cad Bane, Luke, or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are cool.
Yeah.
But you see how we still rate Book of Boba.
Story,
It's not good enough for us to give it anything over a 5.
And ultimately, and that's the thing, it's like at the end of the day, you are competing with like it sucks to say, but in like some regards, like Stranger Things, I would rather rewatch Stranger Things than so far Mando season 3. Or Book of Boba, period.
Right.
Or even the Obi-Wan show. I love Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Like they like
because it's layered. It's tons of fun characters that are like we invest our time in.
Yeah.
And that
was before that. I felt that way before they started doing 4-hour-long episodes. You know what I mean? Before it was like a movie every time. You know?
Yeah. And we still never have like fixed what I would say are the biggest challenges to the show since season 1. We have an alien that can't age and really progress much, and we have the main character behind a mask, who's a great actor. It's Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Last of Us. Get him in. Game of Thrones. Get him in.
Yeah.
Do it. He's got the chops to do it. And I saw online like a meme like fans when he puts the mask back on like, oh, like dude, come on, like we finally got an opportunity for him to break away from this stupid idea.
But then he fell back into it.
And maybe it's just like a battery's gonna die. Maybe it's just a time restraint with the actor because of his other tasks. Maybe just voice acts, but BRB. Yeah. So maybe it's just a Pedro Pascal time restraint thing because I know there's like a stunt double who does most of the Din Djarin stuff.
Yeah. But even still, it's just like odd that in the story they went ahead and like kind of gave him the progress to move beyond the shackles of the way. And then we were like, JK, we're back in it. Like, season 2, the way it ends, it's like you would think that
he has a new purpose.
He has... Well, I mean, he lost his purpose because he gave up Grogu. So it's not necessarily that he has a new purpose, but he's not bound by the restraints of this, like, you know, religious order. And then Book of Boba is just like, LOL, JK, I don't have a purpose anymore, so I'm going to fall back into this. And then he gets the kid back, and it's like, you know, in reality, you can just do your own thing, but he decides to go back with it. So, I don't know.
I love when, like, TV shows, like, face situations because of storytelling, and then, for example, like, Grogu leaving the story, and we were all like, wow. So what is season 3 going to be like without Grogu when we were saying that? And I'm sure,
JK.
And I'm sure a lot of fans are feeling that way. And maybe Disney just like knew they wouldn't get views. But sometimes I'd prefer like them to just get the balls and just prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. Like when shows lose the main character and you're like, well, what are we going to do now? Well, they meet the expectation with something even better.
Yeah.
Like, they keep our attention going because of things even grander than a baby Grogu. Because, oh no, the little Yoda's not on the show for 5 seconds. Like, it's just frustrating because that to me is like...
He wasn't even out of the show for 1 episode.
No.
And he left. He was supposed to be gone.
So it just, like, it frustrates me because there are shows that do that, and I just wish Star Wars, like, rose to the occasion when it came to those kind of things. Yeah. I don't know what to think. I am excited for the Ahsoka show. That's how I feel right now.
Me too.
That's how I feel. When are we getting that show? Is that this year?
In theory, I think it's supposed to be fall.
That'd be awesome. Do we have any other thoughts when it comes to this? We got chickens.
No.
Huh?
The chicken little bird things.
Okay.
Why did they bring them back?
Maybe to ride them one day. Or food.
Cook them.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
They said they were going to raise them.
This episode reminded me of
They called them foundlings.
This reminded me of
That's true.
Spy Kids. Spy Kids 3D, like kind of that like weird, like I don't know, something about it just felt Spy Kidsy, like dumb shit, like dumb like. I don't know. I was thinking of Jason and the Argonauts too, and I saw that.
I don't know what that is.
It's an old like. Don't worry about it. It's an old movie with old claymation, and the bird reminded me of like kind of like you said, like dopey, like Rodan, Godzilla stylized like entertainment. It was so funny. I also even felt like the Ewok Adventures, like this caravan of courage going on a journey to fight a big creature.
It also reminded me of the monsters from Mecha Humans in Mech, the Neural Handshake.
Pacific Rim,
the flying one in that one, and it had Marva, the kaijus.
Yeah, it just looks like a kaiju. Any last thoughts, Mr. Kaiju? Guys, leave a like. Let us know your thoughts. Are our criticisms fair? Are they not? You know what? I don't even care. It's like, let us know some of your favorite moments from this episode. What are some hopes and dreams you have for the series that you love since you tuned into this point? And leave a like we always tell you. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Bye!
Meow. Meow.